You actually learn more from your failures and your
Hmm.
setbacks than actually your successes.
You don't fail unless you give up, right?
Exactly, exactly.
So, Robert, welcome to the Winning Mindset, the podcast where we explore the stories of people who face adversity, bounce back, and reach their peak. I'm Mark, founder of Dynamic Sport Physio, and today's episode is one you don't forget. At 25, Dr. Robert Lin faced health challenges that left him exhausted, frustrated, and searching for answers that no doctor seems to have. And that struggle didn't defeat him, it fueled him. Today, Robert is known as the airway dentist, a global leader in airway focused dentistry, helping people sleep better, breathe better, and live better. Now, in this episode, we'll uncover the mindset, resilience, and strategies behind Robert's journey, from near personal burnout to building a business that changes lives. Robert, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you for joining me. It's like 8 p.m. and you look so fresh still.
Oh, yeah. I just had a nice meal.
Absolutely amazing. Now, I want to start from the beginning. Now, you've shared on Instagram that your own health issues shaped your career. And I remember you talked a bit about that previously that we met, but like what was going on for you back then and how did it push you towards airway dentistry?
Yeah, so I sort of actually fell into it, but let's start with when I was a kid. So the signs were there from an early age. I think sort of had some issues, saw a lot of doctors, specialists, but no one could really tell me what was wrong with me. I guess the first sign was I was age 12. So I was an athlete. At the time, I was playing tennis, basketball at a state level. And the QAS, so
Wow.
Queensland Institute of Sport or whatever they're called,
Yes.
came to my high school. I was at Brisbane State High at the time, so they were doing some testing. They were trying to find some athletes who could, potentially compete for Olympics or things like that. In particular, I think it was the cycling program that came. They did some tests on me because I was a promising athlete, and I actually failed the breathing tests. So that
Oh,
was a bit of a letdown, but that was probably the first sign. And then from there, I still, that didn't stop me. I still kept playing sports, but
hmm.
I realized I had a bit of a physical ceiling. So like for example, say in basketball, I could never play a full game. I could only play in short spurts, so I didn't have quite the stamina. So I could only play about three-quarters of a game.
Wow.
So yeah, so I had a ceiling. So the signs were there from an early age, but I kind of fell into it. I graduated from my dentistry degree in 2009, but it wasn't until 2013 where I met one of my mentors, who's actually like a world famous dentist. I did his course, so I didn't know who he was. It was just recommended, and he met me for the first time, and he just pointed at me and said, you have this problem," and I was like, "How the hell do you know?" So I just took a leap of faith. He sent me for some tests, and yeah, which revealed at the time I had severe sleep apnea. So even though I was an athlete, by that time, by the end of high school, I actually was playing basketball at a national level, with half my team going on to play in the States, even professionally or representing countries. So at a very high level, so no one suspected I might have had sleep apnea.
Hmm.
But the test revealed, yeah, I was stopped breathing 54 times an hour. So yeah, so it was quite severe. So yeah,
54 times an hour.
yeah.
Wow. That must have been a big letdown to have or disappointment. Did you feel that when you had that test and then it revealed that the breathing test we're talking about like when you're in high
Oh,
school.
the breathing test. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
as a kid, he's a little bit of a letdown, but like
Persistent. Hey, you didn't
it
let
is what it is. So like I was still good at other things, like whether it was like short spurts, sprinting, long jump, things like that. I just couldn't do anything that involved long distance running or like
yes.
a lot of stamina. I was never good at swimming, so it just made me focus on the things I was good at. Yeah,
So you probably just thought that you had low stamina. That's it,
yeah, yeah.
instead of having these sleep apnea issues. And it's surprising to have sleep and apnea as the cause for all these problems over the years, because a lot of people will think, it's just snoring at night. But then the impact, it is so profound.
Well, yeah, it started because, one of the reasons I had severe sleep apnea is because I had small airways. So I was born with small airways, but they never developed properly because I had chronic like allergies as a kid, so they never grew properly.
Hmm.
So yeah, if you have a small airway, you're obviously at a greater risk. Yeah.
It's so amazing you were playing sport the whole time at such a high level,
Mm.
even with the airway. That
Yeah, yeah. So I might have been pro like the rest of my teammates if I didn't have it. But I
wow,
wouldn't be a dentist today then probably. So
wow, that's amazing. Using yeah, that with as your strength to build up in your career. And did you ever find out what that doctor, how the doctor tell that you had these problems just by looking at you?
Oh yeah, he's been mentoring me since 2013, so I pretty much know just about everything he knows. So I like today, for
So
example.
you can do that now.
Yeah, I can. So I had a patient come in. I looked at her like, I could tell she was not well. I think she's 28 years old, but she looked, hope she's not listening to this, but she looked double her age. I said, I just reeled off about a dozen different things. Like, do you have this? And she said yes to all of them. I said, how do you know? I was like, well, I can tell because I see this. I see it just from the face, the cranial distortions, the things like venous pooling. Yeah, I look at their nose, like just I see it. I look at someone's face and I can figure out, I can suspect what might be going on. Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. Now I want to talk about airway dontics. Like you've got the that term in some of your things
Yeah.
you do, like your unique approach to dentistry. Like how did you realize, because you graduated as a dentist, how did you realize that, at which time did you realize that dentistry can do more than just fix teeth? And how could it improve health and performance?
Yeah, that was mainly through my 4 year health journey. So at the time, I met my mentor in 2013. I went through 4 years of treatment. So yeah, it took 4 years to fix everything.
Ah, so you actually went through
Yeah,
yourself.
I got treated. So at the time, no one in Brisbane could do that. So I actually flew every month to Sydney to get treated. So yeah, it took 4 years of flying every month to get treated. So through that journey, obviously, I got myself treated. Then I learnt along the process. Then I wanted to learn more. So I kept learning. I traveled around the world. I went like couple times a year to the North America and then even to Europe as well. I even went further in my education. I think in 2022, I completed a double master's degree and I did my master research. My thesis was based on sleep apnea and dentofacial orthopedics, airways, orthodontics. So yeah, everything I've done has been leading to this because like I fell into it. I believe everything happens for a reason. So this happened to me and now I slipped through the cracks. So now I'm one of the few doctors that's able to find these problems because literally every day I get new patient consults. People find me online. They might have
Wow.
heard about me. Some people travel from interstate. Even I even get the odd international patient come in and see me because they're looking for answers. I feel like this really it totally like accelerated since COVID when COVID happened, people were locked down in their homes and they started caring about their health, Googling things on the internet. So I found there's a huge shift since COVID. Everyone become very health conscious. Yeah, so through my own journey, I found that what a dentist is capable of. Like, literally, a dentist is the gatekeeper of the airway. So when we look in a patient's mouth, we're
Mm.
staring at the oropharyngeal airway. So it tells us a lot about a patient. Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. And it's so good that your message is getting out there, but I just feel like so many people still don't know about how the airway the impact of that on their everyday life. Even if they know you do it, like they don't know the extent. A bit like where you started, how you had the breathing test and you failed, but how would someone know it's sleep apnea if there's no doctor like you looking at them,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's true.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So
I,
what
I-
are some of the
a
signs?
lot of it, unfortunately, is it is our education system in a way because we don't learn this stuff at uni. So I had to fly around the world, pay a lot of money to learn this myself because out of my own,
Yes.
you can say it's a bit of selfishness because I want to learn about how to fix myself. So, but in a way now I have the ability to help other people. So it's been good. So I'll give you an example. Say, the top jaw, the maxilla, makes up about 80% of the upper airway. So if I have a patient, I expand their top jaw. I'm making their airway bigger. So if they have a bigger airway, they should be able to breathe better and sleep better.
Something it's simple but so difficult
Mm.
to conceptualize, isn't it? Because the airway does lead to a lot of different things, and even just the not just the physical side. I'm just assuming the mental side of things as well, like not having good sleep, the impact of that on the next day,
Oh, yeah.
on
It's key to
everything.
life. Yeah. I mean, we spend a third of our lives sleeping, right? So
Yes.
sleep is so important. Good quality sleep starts with good breathing, especially for your brain, central nervous system, hormonal system, immune system, cardiovascular, respiratory, just to name a few. So yeah, if, like a lot of people who don't sleep well get irritable, they can put on weight, they can get brain fog, they can get head, neck, jaw pain from clenching and grinding. There's so many things out there that the sleep affects.
Yeah. And that's just the sleep side. And there's the exercise component. Like for athletes, they
Yeah,
do require that the oxygen or enough airflow to do their exercises. And that does affect even when someone's awake as well.
yeah, definitely. If you don't get enough deep sleep, then the muscles and stuff don't have enough time to repair themselves, so you can't perform at your best. Yeah.
And the hidden thing that's probably not explored yet, I'm just thinking from a physiotherapy side, is that someone who doesn't get adequate oxygen, just even at a normal level, say just an everyday person, not an athlete, and yeah, if their oxygen intake just slightly lower than everyone else over time, what's the impact of that, right?
Oh, it's potentially huge. Like, I'll give you an example. Say if you're, well, say we're awake right now, our oxygen levels ideally should be, use a pulse oximeter, measure your oxygen, should be
Yeah.
at 99 or 100%. I would accept as low as 97. If you're a chronic mouth breather, so you're getting less quality air because it's
Hmm.
air's not going through the nose, your oxygen levels might be between 95, 97%.
Hmm.
If you're in a, say for example, in a hospital setting for whatever reason, and your oxygen drops below 90, that's when the alarm bells ring and the nurses, doctors rush in because they
Yeah.
think you're having a medical episode. So, but this dropping below 90%, because I see a lot of patients with sleep apnea that initially undetected, when I send them off a sleep test,
Happening
I
a
see
lot.
that happening a lot.
Yes. Yes.
So when that happens, your whole body's suffering, like cell damage, organ damage, brain damage, things like that, which is leading to a lot of like people are starting to like a lot of the latest research in the last couple of years linking the sleep apnea to dementia, Alzheimer's, because the
Yeah.
brain's just not getting enough oxygen. That's why some people get brain fog. So it affects everything. Yeah.
Yeah. And we don't have nurses at home, so it makes it so cringe to think about it.
Yeah. So like if someone is snoring, that's already a sign, right? So about 40% of adults over 40 years of age snore.
Hmm.
So that's a sign there's an airway restriction somewhere, most likely, or
Oh,
the
many
airway's
of us.
collapsing.
Such
Yeah,
a
many of us.
yeah.
Especially you and me being Asian, with Asian and Indian backgrounds, we tend to be more flat in the face,
Hmm.
face deficient. So genetically, we actually have smaller airways. So we're actually at high risk. Yeah.
Should get myself checked out. Now, every path like yours has challenges, I'm assuming, because I do feel like, say, in Australia, it is such a niche area or niche
Yeah.
specializations. Not many people do this, like what you say, right? So, can you share a moment in your practice when you felt stuck or unsure because you are only the few that does it? And like what you say, it's a journey you continue to learn. So there must be challenges that's presented itself, right, during your
Yeah.
clinical practice.
So firstly, being in Australia, obviously you and I, we're under APRA, the healthcare body. So firstly, I can't even call myself a specialist because there's no
Mm.
such thing as an airway orthodontic specialist. So yeah, I'm just call myself an airway dentist. So give you a few examples. Well, it's constant really. So I get sort
APRA doesn't make it
of,
easy, do they?
hey.
APRA doesn't make it easy. Hey.
No, they don't. And yeah, well, I get attacked. I've been attacked a few times. Complaints from, say, because without getting too political,
Mm.
in Australia, in say for example orthodontics, they just focus on getting straight teeth, like quickest way possible, but they don't realize the effect that means, for example, pulling out healthy teeth, making the jaw smaller, or put getting the teeth straight, but getting the TMJ in the wrong position can have on the rest of the
Yeah.
body.
Yeah.
So they don't realize that. So then they'll make a complaint saying my work is wrong or my diagnosis, my treatment plan is
Mm.
wrong. So I've got complaints over the years. Obviously, I've never had issues. It's just
Yeah.
a bit of a headache to defend. I've even last year, the week before Christmas, I got a complaint, an anonymous complaint about my website because my website was too high level. So in Australia, I'm sure you've heard of tall poppy syndrome. So if you stand out too much, they want to shut you down. So they told me to dim down my website a little bit, even though I can prove, like I can do what I do. I have evidence, like in the last. So as part of because of these complaints over the last 2 years, I've accumulated over 700 of the latest articles to back up everything I do. So I got all the evidence, but so I can prove I'm doing the right thing and it works, but they still want me to dim it down a little bit. And things like even recently, I get some fake one-star reviews, and it's pretty obvious that the person wasn't even a patient. So I get attacks all the
Ah.
time. Yeah, so you have to be really resilient. Yeah.
I, I really feel you. Hey, like this is what happens in the I think especially in healthcare
Mm,
is that you do get this kind of you do get targeted when you're doing something that's innovative.
yeah.
Unfortunately, that's the yeah, the
That's the
how.
tall poppy syndrome. But the good news is, I was told by one of my mentors that a hater's never more successful than you. So when they point their finger at you, there's three fingers pointing back at them. Because in successful people, they're too successful. They don't have time to be hating on others.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, what you do is you do have the 99% of the successful cases, that's going to absolutely drown out these 1%.
Yeah, like no one's perfect. So yeah, I'm bound to have a case that doesn't go as perfectly as planned, but like still, what my philosophy and my treatment planning is all based on. It's like a holistic healthcare approach. Like, for example, like I have at least 10 different healthcare professionals that I actually work with. So, for example, things like myofunctional therapists, throat doctors, sleep physicians, maxillofacial surgeons, immunotherapists, just to name a few, because I'm just one piece of the puzzle, but I can connect the dots. So a patient comes to see me for initial consult. I find all the problems and I say, hey, you need this person in my team. Together, we can fix you the best way possible. So, yeah, I'm also a firm believer of working in a team because that's how we get the best results for our patients.
I love this mental resilience in what you do in your practice. Um, now, so overall, you didn't stop at your clinic. You just don't do this amazing clinical work that you're doing. I see that you're also lecturing internationally and you're teaching others, educating others, not just patients, but other health professionals. And in that team of yours, you do have that educational component as well to really advocate for this new innovative field in dentistry. Right. So can I ask what drove you to scale your impact beyond the patients in your chair?
Probably starts from 2017. It was just out of nowhere, literally. My mentor, he just happened to be teaching that weekend, and I was in Sydney, visiting him, and he's like, "Hey Rob, do you want to give a lecture on the weekend?" Like zero preparation, and I was like, "Okay." So I was a guest lecturer.
Yes,
That was a simple one. I didn't no slides because I was just sharing my journey. So it's an easy like 15-20 minute talk,
yes.
just to help them tie all the treatment together, understand the whole concept, and I enjoyed it. So from there, he pretty much invited me to join his faculty. I would be flying to Sydney every month to teach alongside him. It was last year that I decided to run my own airway and sleep program. So to have a greater impact, if I teach other people how to do what I do, then I'm having exponentially a much greater impact on more people. So
Hmm,
yeah, to have a greater effect. Yeah.
amazing. You get to help more people by doing what you do.
Yeah.
Now I want to dig into mindset because I feel like that's so amazing what you're doing in terms of the tall poppy syndrome, driving forward
Yeah.
and having not. Yeah, no, I would say very little support. Yeah, I know you got mentors, you got your network, but compared to say someone who wants to be a great dentist, general dentistry, this is a totally different playing field, right? So I would like to ask you, what kind of mental framework or habits kept you moving forward? Because I love your drive for this.
It's honestly it doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. I first got into personal development in 2011. So it's been a long journey. So to build that mindset, the mentality, the strength to keep going, but despite all the obstacles, like yeah, I love what I do. That's obviously easy, makes it a lot easier. So I'm excited to go to work to help people. Like I only sleep 6 hours a day. Um, yeah, because I know
Wow.
we all got the same 24 hours. So if I enjoy my work, I work a lot harder because if I work twice as hard as others, then my competitors, they can't catch up, and the gap will only widen. So I'm since I was a kid, I've always been motivated to be the best I can. Like I may not be the best at this, best at that, but I like to push myself to see what my limits are. So
Hmm.
that's always been something that really drove me from an early age. So I've maintained that throughout my life, and I became a healthcare like professional. Well, back when, say, I was in like grade 12 or uni, I knew I wanted to help people. That's all I knew. But I didn't know how or what I would get into. So one piece of advice I got was just, hey, just study hard, get the best, I guess, grades and see then it gives you more options at least. So then
Hmm.
I chose dentistry, and then at the start, I didn't like it. So I
Ah.
still completed it because like, yeah, it's just, cleaning teeth, drilling teeth, really like a tooth carpenter, really. So, but it wasn't until, yeah, I met my mentor and I felt, wow, I was like, I can do this. And like, I can literally change the trajectory of a person's life just by finding problems, finding and fixing the root causes. And then then their life changes forever. So I was like, yeah, so it's amazing.
Yeah. Just for our listeners out there, I think your mindset is amazing, and I feel like you're so humble with what you do. Like I've been Facebook stalking you, and just this is just a quick example of what you put on your post. Like this year, I've gone all in. No holidays, only business trips. Morning zooms from 6 to 7 a.m. 46 hours of sleep. Absolutely love it. Talent and effort alone doesn't won't be exceptional discipline. Like you've done a lot of habit, like
Yeah.
fantastic habits to get yourself to where you are. And like what you said, by the time your competition wakes up, you're already 8 moves ahead. I love. absolutely love that. And
Yeah.
yeah, and that perfectly explains how you've achieved what you've achieved, and also how yeah, other people might see you. And but yeah, let's move on for our listeners. What out there? What's one thing, Robert, that they can do this week to start facing a challenge they've been avoiding, whether in health, business, or in life? Like, what kind of advice are you able to give?
Well, first thing, if they're suffering, they're facing a challenge or something, or they're avoiding something. Unfortunately, the longer you avoid it, the worse it gets, or the harder it is to overcome. So, there's a saying, or there's actually a book. It's called Eat the Frog. Not
Uh,
sure you've heard of it. So every day you do that most difficult thing first, and everything else like feels easier. So what I do is I actually plan every 30 minutes of my day is planned. So I know exactly what I'm doing. So there's no spare time. Like I don't even know what boredom is. Like we since it's been almost 2 years now, but we don't have a TV in our house. There's no time for that. So like I'm
and the
literally
TV. That's
yeah, I usually say get home from work at about 7, have dinner. From about 8 o'clock till about midnight, I'm working on other stuff, like non-clinical stuff. And for me, my habits from about 12 o'clock, I start my wind down process, which will be taking some supplements that help me sleep better. And sit in the massage chair for about half an hour. That
wow.
helps. And
That's
then that's when I wind down my brain because when you work your brain so hard, it's hard to sleep. So that's when look. That's when I go on the phone. So I'll spend half an hour on my phone watching videos like basketball or things I enjoy to
mm,
help me wind down.
yeah.
So have some good healthy routines and consistency is the key. So because say you want to work hard, the effort compounds over time. So you actually learn more from your failures and your
Mm,
setbacks than actually your successes.
yeah.
So that's really, really important. And it defines who you are. It yeah, you learn a lot about yourself as well. So after get overcoming obstacles, you become stronger and better than ever.
Yeah.
So there's no one that strolls through life to success. Everyone has setbacks. So just everyone remember that, and
Yeah.
there's light at the end of the tunnel, and you come out the other side a much better person. Yeah,
Yeah. You don't fail unless you give up, right?
exactly, exactly.
They are
Yeah.
not failures. They are just opportunities.
Challenges,
Yeah.
opportunities. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, Robert, thank you for being so candid with all your what you've achieved and what the struggles, the doubts, and the triumphs. Your story reminds us that real success comes from facing adversities head on, and you've absolutely demonstrated that. To our listeners, the takeaway is simple. Your setbacks are not the end. They are the launch pad. Reflecting on one challenge this week and take a small action toward it. That's how winning mindsets are built step by step, breath by breath, setback by setback. Now, if this episode inspires you, share it, subscribe to the winning mindset, and let's keep learning from those who turn adversity into achievement. I'm Mark, and this has been the winning mindset. Keep breathing, keep recovering, and keep winning.